There is no time for low keys like the first weeks of a brand new season. When I lay in bed at night dreaming about what submitted low keys I might get, this one really is the thing I dream about the most. It's just a hilarious amalgamation of funny things that you're not going to see anywhere other than in 8. So let's go ahead and just take a look at it. Now this starts with the person who submitted this sending me this screenshot. That's the overall chart. 5 players on the chart. You got the tank in second, by the way, for DPS. In first for healing. And if you look at the details assignment of specs, you're going to see something a little strange. But let's not ruin the surprise right now. So I was looking at the charts as the dungeon was unfolding, and I was like, this guy is just AFK. He's not doing anything. He's not doing any actual DPS, and he's not doing any actual healing. And then I saw this little clip right here. This little portion of the dungeon turned me onto something that absolutely turns this funny moment into something funnier. Did you see what just happened there? Maybe you didn't. Let's rewind it. So here comes the ads. This fight's kind of difficult. You know, there's a lot of ads you got to keep up on. So pretty good time to have a starfall and a solar beam out, right? The solar beam doesn't actually interrupt anything. But yeah, they don't actually have a healer in this group, which is really funny on its own because the guy signed up as a healer. You see the little healing icon down here on his name? That means that he entered the group with the role set as healer. Now, what happens from now on? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. Does he not think he's healing? Does he not believe he's the healer in the group? Does he not realize that nobody else is healing? How does nobody else notice? They do the entire dungeon with him as a non-healer. He's a balance druid. He's clearly a balance druid. Multiple add-ons on the screen are indicating this. And this guy sent me this thing saying, this is the worst healer I've ever played with, basically. He did 0 DPS and he did 0 healing. He was the last healer on the healing chart. That's because he was a balance druid and he didn't notice. The people in his group didn't notice, and the guy who was supposed to be the healer didn't notice. So what can even be said? I mean, there's no reason to even look at the rest of the footage. This is the most ridiculous key ever, but you gotta see how some of the reactions actually unfold between this group and the guy. I almost start to feel bad for him. Like, now this is on EU, presumably, so you don't really know what's going on language barrier-wise, but it's kind of strange. So they're doing this fight. Clearly nobody's getting any healing. You could literally see the shaman just spam healing himself, healing the group as well. Mage just sitting low. Yeah, like Paladin's healing him. Like Mage just sitting low for like 30 seconds. Like, I mean, to me, it's pretty obvious nobody is casting any heal on any player. You see the chart. The guy's not doing any DPS either. He's done 300 DPS at this point. And I don't even know how he ends up doing that DPS because there's times when he's just standing still, not doing anything. I honestly think his gear might be broken from the get-go. He dies so often and nobody else is really dying. Like, it's an 8. It's like people are living throughout the entire boss without an actual healer in the group, and then somehow this guy's still dying every single time. So he's just standing back here like, look at. He's just standing still. Like, what is he actually doing right now? I think he's actually just AFK. Look, he's just standing right there. His character is not moving at all. He's not casting any spells. He's done 0 damage. He's not even on the damage chart. He's just standing still, probably wondering why he didn't get a loot off the first boss. Look, there he is. He also, you know what we also see in here? 0 of 4 Mark of the Wild. Nobody comments on that the whole dungeon. Monk again comments, Druid, wake up, please. And the Druid, now he starts moving. He's like, hey, what are these mobs doing here? Where do these mobs come from? Yeah, here comes an interesting time in the key where they start talking about him needing a repair bot, and this is ultimately why I think the person sent this to me, because this part gets really funny. So even like the details chart says it too. Like, you see this thing on the screen and it actually says healer role balance spec. He looks at it, doesn't notice it. But yeah, you see he clicks on him and the guy has 137k health. Now since then I looked the guy up just to make sure, because 137k health, yeah, his gear is probably broken, but he's also only 396 item level. His gear probably is broken, and honestly I think it was probably broken the entire time just based off how he's dying on some of these fights. But this is the crazy part. The only key he has done is that key. I don't know how he gets invited. I don't know why anybody invited him. I don't know if it's just like a new player, a young player, somebody who has no idea what they're saying to them, might be non-English speaker. They realize the guy's gear is entirely broken, so the monk is trying to get him to go outside and repair. Druid, go die in the pack, and they're trying to get him to res outside, but he's just kind of running around in circles. Then he goes, do you speak English? I think they're trying to speak to him in other languages. He's asking maybe, do you speak French? And then I think the guy says yes to that. It's hard to tell, but they seem to think he said yes to do you speak English because they keep speaking to him in English, which I really don't think he understands, because I don't know how new you would have to be to not realize your gear's broken and not realize that that's a priority. So they're like marking it. And by the way, this key is in time. Like, this is a timed key. They're sitting here for like 3 minutes trying to get him to die try and go outside and repair. The mage pulls, then he invises, trying to get threat on other people, but ends up just going for the shaman. So now we got to pull this pack. This is like a complete mess. I mean, this kind of thing you will never see anywhere other than a low key. Okay, so now he's back. We got 4.3k DPS. He's back. His gear's repaired. He's able to do something. I press some buttons now, I guess. Look, he's breaking 12, almost 13k DPS. He's actually doing damage now, competing with that fire mage. We go again on Pyron, the third boss of the dungeon. Definitely one that helps having an extra damage dealer, but no, that guy's dead already. Okay. The guy says, Druid, are you a bot? The thing that's the craziest to me though is like they still do not realize that they don't have a healer. And like, I don't know the composition of this group, like who's where, but this monk was like 2,600 last season. It's kind of crazy that you can do a key and not realize that nobody is actually healing in the group. He goes, dispel the tank when everybody has 5 stacks of the debuff. It's like, dude, he's a balanced druid. Like, I don't understand. How do you not realize? He goes, press heal buttons, please. Then the guy's like flaming him. He's like, bad druid EU. You mean worse druid? Is just what you're trying to say. He's trying to flame him. He's a balanced druid. You have a balanced druid in your group. He's not a healer. Like, he's even in balance form right now. He's a chicken right now. Like, he's casting. Yeah, like this is how easy low keys are, dude. You have a group that doesn't have a healer in it. You do the whole key without realizing it. Like literally nobody realizes it, including the guy who's supposed to be the healer. He's not getting any healing. He's dying constantly. He doesn't even comment. You have 5 minutes left in this timer. That's why they nerfed the dungeon by 3 minutes. The timer's ridiculous. It was definitely a good start to this season, man. Let me know if you guys have funny submissions out there. This might be one of the funniest keys of the season. First one submitted. Season 2's been wild. Hope you guys are enjoying it. Thank you for watching. We will see you guys in the next one.